and whoever else is watering. This stuff needs watering. I know it looks like, you know, pretty easy, really. Everything needs watering over here. Just make sure this guy gets some water because he sits under the eave, so if it rains, he doesn't get anything. Dad might need to check the eaves troughs again, too. Looks like they're getting overflowy. This guy will also need a decent watering. These two big guys will need some deadheading, the two big pots full. And then these guys, I give them quite a lot of water. Like, I would say half a container, like I just pour a half a bucket next to each one of them. And now that I've mulched them, they'll do better just in terms of keeping their moisture in. I just mulched everything this morning, so the moisture should stay in, but if it's hot at all, then you'll need to make sure you water everything. Just keep the rhubarb fairly well watered. Change this bird bath every second or third day. You'll have to wash it out with the scrubby. I just dumped the old water onto the shrubs that are behind it. A lot of these plants in the front are new, so they need to make sure that they have good water, especially that guy behind the purple one there. It's new and I don't want it to die at all. So it's called a forsythia. I don't know much about daisies, but I think these guys could be deadheaded. I'm not sure how that works, but I guess if you pull it off, it just works like that. I'll fill up the hummingbird feeder before I go, but there's hummingbird stuff in the fridge, and if it runs out, it's just a cup and a half of sugar in the bottom of that black thing, and then filled with boiling hot water. These guys will need more water than most everything else, and when these bloom, Megan, if you would send me a picture of the blooms, because I might not be here when they first bloom, as well as with the ornamental onions, because I think they're going to bloom in the next couple days. That's what these guys are here, these guys that are about to bud. Okay, and then yeah, same thing with these daisies. I think could be deadheaded. Just throw the deadhead stuff to the back of the little garden bed. And yeah, you don't really have to weed very much, I don't think, but if you see some obvious weeds, maybe go for it. This is like, everything's good and wet right now, but like not tomorrow, but the day after, everything should have a good watering if it doesn't rain. I usually throw some water on that vine just in case. This guy needs more water than not because it gets the reflected sun off of the house. And as you can see, we have a little overflow problem here, but if you get crazy and want to move this ornamental onion guy, you just find a place that's open somewhere and just put him in the ground. You'll have to dig down deep underneath him to move him. And the marigolds too, they could actually go in a pot anywhere in the yard, or I don't know, you'll find some place if you really want to move them, if you get crazy. Just give the two garden beds a good watering every time. Oh my goodness, Megan, we have tomatoes. Can you see them through there? We have tomatoes. We have tomatoes, people. Tomatoes. It's actually happening. Okay. Yeah, just be careful around this feeder, because this one, because it's so shaded, the wasps like to come to this one, so just don't get buzzed, okay? Yeah, this will need a little water. These mostly stay in the shade, so don't worry too much, but just watch the soil to make sure it's not getting dry. This guy at the back here is an actual, like this guy here, is an actual tree that's going to grow up sort of behind there, because it wouldn't grow in the front. All of these pots at the back will need some extra water. Yeah, maybe just keep an eye on the elderberry bush, that it has water, just because we're trying to rejuvenate it. This thing, just empty it once in a while, and we could even put fresh water in that one now. I'll repaint it and stuff when I come home, but it should be scrubbed out really well too. Hello, Caitlin's here. We just had breakfast. So this pot, because it's going to sit in the sun now, is going to need more water than it had over in the other space. Sorry if that made you dizzy. Okay, so the citronella and this upper pot both need good watering, because they get a lot of sun sitting here. So it doesn't look like it, but they do. But just like check the soil, right? The soil will tell you what you need to do. Just make sure you get a good dribble into this one. Excuse Dad's butt. Excuse Dad's butt. Thank you. The sun patience you can deadhead just by pulling the thing right off of there and just tuck it back in. Same thing, that thing gets a lot of heat, but it's hard to tell that the soil is dry. Okay, these guys, you can see right now that they're all getting reflected sun off of the house, and so they need quite a bit of watering, and this will need deadheading. There's lots of deadheading to do on it. I didn't get a chance to do it before I left. This little thing is where I put my deadheads, but it ends up getting water in it when it rains, so remember to empty that. What else? Over here, underneath where the robin is she home right now? No. Okay. Oh, incoming. Sorry. So the babies are doing their thing. This and that, you have to water when nobody's home up there, and you just do it with the blue jug. Not too much water for either one, but they'll need some watering. Okay. What else? Also, indoor plants I watered today, and so they won't need watering for another, maybe not until the end of the week. Okay. This water barrel I'm going to move back over to beside the big barrel, beside the big tote, so that you can have it. And feel free, if you get a hankering to weed, you can pull anything in here except for this and this, because I don't know what either of those are, and I'm kind of curious, so I'm letting them grow, but the rest of it could be pulled out. Don't worry about weeding anything in here, and I water this mostly with the water from this, and just clean this out, same thing as the front, every couple of days, and this area stays pretty good. It's okay to weed it if you want to, but you don't have to, because it's sometimes tough to tell what's what. Okay. Then over here we have the lobelia, which I think maybe has had too much water, like it is acting kind of like it's dying off, so don't freak out if it dies completely, but you can fill up bird feeders as well if you get a chance to. There's one behind the camper, there's one here in their apple tree. This guy here doesn't need a lot of watering. You just kind of like sloosh the water over top of it, and that's it. And then these guys need quite a bit of watering. Little elm guy trying to grow in there. Same thing here, keep the nice stuff at the bottom just nice and wet. I water around the base of the tree here, and then you can put sunflower seeds in this guy here. This might be a good spot to put an ornamental onion from over in the garden bed. You could just dig a hole right there and put it in. Dad might have some soil from his composter to put on top of it. So the idea here is it's super easy to fill the bins now. You just put the blue hose into the bin, into the green pail garbage bin, and turn the tap on, and then you just have to like guide the hose. Sorry for the euphemism. But yeah, and it fills really fast, then you shut it off. Don't worry too much about collecting water while I'm gone, unless you can make sure and keep an eye on it. Like, you could undo the black hose and put it in the top to fill this guy again, but really then you have to make sure that you're putting it back together, because I don't want water going everywhere into the basement and stuff, overflowing from this tote. But it would be nice to capture some more water once this gets low. I usually, in one watering, water a green garbage bin and a half of water. So if you haven't used that much water when you're watering each time, then you need to be upping your watering, okay? And once you've done watering, I always fill that again, like fill the bin again, okay? I know this is a really long video, and I know you know what you're doing, so I'm not worried, but have fun. Don't let it stress you out. Okay, bye.